20% off TruckStop Load Board Pro for 6 months. The best tool for serious carriers. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to get 20% off Load Board Pro for 6 months. Need capital to grow your business or cover unexpected expenses? Rock Financial has your back. Whether you're looking for a flexible line of credit, a fast cash advance, or tailored working capital solutions, Rock Financial makes it simple to get funded, often in as little as 24 hours. No hidden fees, an easy application, and real support from people who know the business. Ready to take your hustle to the next level? Tap the link in the description to get started with Rock Financial today. Wish insurance was this easy? With LogRock, it's like magic. Real coverage appears when you need it. No tricks. Get covered now. Click the link in the description.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up? Come on in, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. Happy Saturday. What time is it? 3:40 afternoon. Come on in, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Let's get these bills paid. If you're looking for working capital for your business, there's a link in the description for Rock Financial, working capital, business lines of credit. If you need money to purchase your equipment, business loans, click the link in the description for Rock Financial. Also, if you need commercial insurance, there's also another link in the description for LogRock, commercial insurance for your semi-truck business, your box truck business, your cargo van business. There is a link in the description. They will set you up if you want to new and you need commercial insurance. If you're looking to renew and you want a quote for a better premium, click the link in the description below. For LogRock, come on in, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications. How's everybody doing this Saturday afternoon? Gonna put on a good show. Wasn't gonna go live today, after I did that long live yesterday with Buddy. I did end up cutting most of that out right at the end. So I did cut it down. If you go back and watch the replay, you won't see none of that shit that was not pertaining to the box truck business. I did edit that out. All right, but come on in. I'm gonna cover this topic today because I got a little time right now, so I'm gonna kill a little time with this. Let me get this roll call real quick. Got a little quiet bunch in here. Shout out to T-Bone Talks. What's going on? T-Bone Talks? Shout out to Delise. Shout out to all the MGM members. Shout out to HC Picks Live. Happy Saturday. TFE Logistics. Shout out to Box Truck Tone. Where you been at? What's going on, Mark? All is well. All is well. Can you continue to direct people to the back 10-4? That's what we're going to do over here. It's what we're going to do. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. Today, I want to talk about it's Saturday, so we're gonna let loose the fuck shit. There's a lot of fuck shit going on. It's not just with OTR people. It happens in the final mile. I've been collecting a lot of exclusive content from my members, especially in my Discord, and the shit that happens at some of these 3PLs, it's unbelievable. I've never seen none of this shit happen in my day, but I understand that the mindset has shifted. Somebody messaged me this morning and said, Mark, you need to do a live stream on an IC mindset versus an MC mindset. I think I'm gonna cook that up probably over the course of the next few days. But the mindset is just really, really messed up today. and just business people that are out here, which also contributes to the majority of the people that are failing. I'm going to show you some exclusive shit today. You're going to see some fights, nothing that you've seen on the internet, because this is filmed POV from the first point of view and provided to me. All right. So I'm gonna show you a couple fights at 3PLs, and we're gonna react to them. And I'm gonna do a lecture because I just think it's stupid. I was privy to an email this morning that I'm also going to show. I'm going to react to the verbiage in the email, something that even if I told you to guess what this email says, you'll probably never guess this shit. It's just stupid shit. And like, I don't understand why a person would start a business and get up early in the morning and go to a terminal just to fight somebody over dumb shit like dock parking spots and dock doors. Like, I'm not finna go out and throw hands with nobody over a fucking dock door. It's just unprofessional. You never know who's recording, and it could happen to land in Big Mark's hands, and then I'm going to react to it. I'm going to make you look like a fool, and then I'm probably going to get a call Monday. Mark, where'd you get this from? It's going to be from whoever's in corporate, UST, RXO. Was this one of our guys? And then you're going to be fucked up out here in these streets. I'm going to make it content out of it. And then you're going to have to learn a lesson of how to conduct yourself with integrity. You're going to realize that fighting over a dock spot wasn't worth it. But I'm going to make content out of it, pimp. All right, because I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the dumb shit, some of this dumb shit that I'm seeing. But come on in, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all the post notifications. I don't know what everybody doing. Y'all quiet in here and shit. But let's get the show on the road. How should we start? Should we react first? Should we react and lecture? What do you want? What do you want to do? What y'all want to do? Because y'all kind of quiet, man. What's up? It's Saturday. What y'all hungover from last night? Y'all hungover? Like, usually during the week, y'all be a little bit more attentive. All right, I guess we're going to react, man. So today I'm going to break down some shit that I'm seeing at some of these 3PLs, fights breaking out, contractors fighting, beefing over dock doors, shit like this. There's no competition in 3PLs like it is in OTR. So people aren't fighting in these docks being as far as competition. It's for like positioning for fucking dock doors and shit like that, like dumb shit. Opportunity is there. The culture in Final Mile is what's broken. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Some of y'all already know what y'all thinking, but quiet as kept, it ain't us. It ain't us, ladies and gentlemen. And when I say us, you know what I'm talking about. It's not us. When you hear fuck shit, it's not always black folk. It's not us. It ain't us. The culture is broken, and it doesn't have anything, as far as when I'm talking about culture, to do with ethnicity. It's just the mindset of how people even look at business. You know what I'm saying? Ignorant. We're going to react to 3 pieces of exclusive content, and I'm going to talk about what I think is causing this chaos and this ignorance and how we can effectively get back to real business. And then I'm also give you some exclusive insight of some shit that, like, I was talking to some people with yesterday and the day before on my Discord, of the direction where I think Final Mile is ultimately headed. You can agree or disagree, but if things continue to go the way that they're going, and there's already signs that we're going in this direction, then there's going to be less opportunity. So when I say, yo, in another 5 to 10 years, you know, a job is something that will be a privilege, it just doesn't hold precedence in the form of a job where you're punching the clock. A lot of the opportunities that people have now, if you continue to take advantage of them, you're not going to have those opportunities either. Fuck around and find out if you want. All right, so boom. Let's react. Let's get to the reactions. It's Saturday. I'm not going to be here long. I promise you I'm not. I got shit to do, but I want to kill some time. Give me a second. Let me see. Do I want to go there? Let's go there. All right, come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I feel like I'm missing something. Like I paid the bills. I did the shout outs. I did the monologue. All right, I think I did everything. Fuck it. Let's go. Now this is a short one, but let's go back and look at this. So you got a bunch of Migos. Shout out to all my Migos. You got the one black guy. The black guy is the peacemaker in this situation. Hold on, I don't like this view. There we go. I like this one better. The black guy is the peacemaker. It's Migos on Migos. Now, if you're in the final mile, the dynamic has shifted. Back in my day, it was about 50-50. It was actually like 40-40-20, pretty much. It was like 40% black, 40% Hispanic, 20% Caucasian. Now, it's like majority Hispanic. English speaking or non-English speaking. So in this situation, you got two Hispanic contractors, right, arguing over some dumb shit. Black guy is the mediator, looks like he's the guy that's breaking the shit up. You can tell they really don't want to fight, you know what I'm saying? But this is what is happening a lot. Now, the next video I got, some blows were thrown. That's going to be a little bit more entertaining, but I'm going to hold off on that one for a second because I want to talk about why is this happening a lot in Final Mile. And I'm going to tell you, it's due to a shortage of real operators. There's not an oversupply in Final Mile. It's not saturated. It's a shortage. It's always been a shortage. It'll always be a shortage, obviously due to the labor that's associated with doing final mile work. Final mile is one of the toughest, most demanding parts of logistics. You need discipline, you need strength, and you also need customer service skills. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Most people don't want this type of work because they don't want this type of grind. They don't want to sweat. They don't want to problem solve on the fly. There's a lot of problem solving in final mile with final mile delivery, similar to like moving. You have people that go into Home Depot. You have people that go into Lowe's. You have people that go into Best Buy, and they don't understand, you know what, maybe I should measure the space, right? They don't understand, even from the furniture perspective. They have a big living room in, let's say, a two flat, a typical Chicago, let's say 2 flat, but they don't think about the logistics of it coming up to the second floor. And there's a turn, a sharp turn. So whether as a love seat may be able to make that turn efficiently, a long couch with, you know, where the back flares out and when the arms flare out, it may be a little bit difficult. Or a person that lives in a high rise, you know, your unit may be an open floor plan because the unit has been rehabbed, right? But this building was built after the Great Chicago Fire, and the freight elevator is still the same size of the freight elevator when they built it and installed it in the 1920s, where people weren't ordering this big, huge furniture. And you didn't think to measure the length of the couch in comparison to the elevator, and you take the freight elevator and you just didn't think that, you know, maybe I should measure the elevator to see if the couch is going to fit. All right. These are things that you have to problem solve on the fly that you're going to be face to face with. And a lot of people don't want to deal with it. A lot of people don't even want to deal with the customers face to face. Why? Because they can't articulate themselves well. Right? So there's actually plenty of opportunity and not enough solid contractors to fill the need in final mile. Hence, 3PLs onboarding non-speaking people, non-English speaking people. Also, culture shock. It's a new wave of people with the wrong values. The new generation of people that's coming into this industry, into this niche, aren't being trained. Once upon a time, you would get trained. They would send you with the training crew. Nowadays, you're not being trained at all. You're not being mentored, right? Obviously, the 3PLs cannot do this because you're not an employee, you're a contractor, right? So from a legal aspect, they can't do it. They don't really hold you accountable for your mistakes, hence claims. They just deduct it. There's no corrective action as far as looking at your SOPs or corrective action as far as getting you trained accordingly to reduce claims. Obviously, if you have an influx of claims, there's an issue there, right? Who's doing the training? They expect for you to figure this shit out on your own. Once upon a time, there was a process in place to kind of help you out in those situations. No longer exists, right? A lot of people that come into this industry now in this niche are similar to people that come into other niches. Your Amazons, your OTR. They just looking at this like a quick hustle and then not looking at it like a profession. Final mile is a business and it's a profession, and it has to be treated as such. There's a breakdown in value. The reason why claims are high, the reason why you got people fighting in parking lots, the reason why I'm going to show you some other shit later on is no sense of pride, no loyalty, no respect for the work, no integrity. What you guys consider old heads, guys like me, OGs, old heads, unks, whatever, who set the standard are retiring and moving on. Big Mark ain't the only person who's been successful in this niche and has retired. A lot of the people that are in my age category are retiring. We set the standard. We're moving on, and the people that are filling the slots don't have the same level of integrity that I have and my peers have of my age category that set the pavement for the people that are coming in. One of two things: you don't have the integrity like we have, and there's a lack of new entrants replacing my peers that are exiting now, right? So it's a lack of entrance, and then the people that are entering lack integrity. You lack integrity. Leadership is poor, both from the 3PL aspect and from the IC, or if the MC, if you're an MC. You don't see a lot of issues from MCs. You see them more from ICs because the mindset is different. And then there's a lack of structure as well. What you got to understand is the 3PLs, all these companies, they just want bodies to cover the contracts. That's it. See, the relationship that the 3PLs have with the retailers is different from the relationship that you have with the 3PLs. The 3PL's job is to get the shit off the dock. That's it. When Michael Janiskowski flies from the corporate XPO corporate headquarters, wherever it's at, or corporate T-Force headquarters down in Dallas, Texas, and then they fly to wherever the corporate headquarters is for Lowe's with the sales team, and then they present this presentation on why XPO or why T-Force can provide them the best service at the best price for national final mile delivery for Lowe's or Home Depot. They're selling them on the fact that they can handle the scope of work nationally or regionally or for a specific market. They're saying we have the capability, we have the resources to get whatever amount of shit you sell, whether you're selling a lot or whether you're selling a little, we can handle it efficiently. That's their selling point. If they don't have enough people to move the freight, then that's where they drop the ball at, because they sold themselves to the retailer that they could move it. They just want the shit off the dock. I know this from a first-hand basis. All those calls that I used to get back in the day, every single day, Mark, you got an extra truck. Mark, you got an extra truck. The only thing they were concerned with is getting the shit off the dock. Why? Because whatever systems that the retailer has that is integrated with the 3PLs, there's a corporate structure in the retail that knows when there's freight left on the dock. As long as they see that shit is off the dock and it's moving, all right, boom, we're at 100% efficiency for the day. We're at 99% efficiency. Whatever happens afterwards is on the carrier at that point. We don't care if you suck or not. Why? Because the moment that shit leaves the dock and goes on your truck, it's on you. The claims, everything is on you. We just need bodies to get the shit off the dock. There's more processes and procedures in place today in comparison into my day. Back in my day, you could just get a contract, on board 2 people, do 2 background checks, and every truck you scale, they didn't ask. Don't ask, don't tell. You got another truck, Mark? We got some shit on the dock. If you're calling me short notice because you got shit left on the dock from other ICs that didn't show up, is that 3PL going to be able to get a background check and a drug screening in the hour it takes from this guy to come from my facility to that 3PL? Of course not. They don't care. They just want it off the dock. A lot of that shit wouldn't fly today, but I'm just putting you in the mind frame of what goes on. There's no real onboarding. There's absolutely positively no training. There's no code of conduct enforced. One, they can't really enforce a code of conduct because you're a contractor. It's up to you to enforce your own code of conduct. And if you're an IC, you should know better. Management is completely off hands. You have a corporate structure and you have a contractor. It's off hands. Management is not going to run your business. The only time they get involved is when something really, really blows up and it makes its way up the corporate ladder. I was talking to a guy in my Discord. He lost a contract with XPO, RXO, doing it was a haul away. And when they were dumping the items at the dump, they were just pushing the shit off the back of the truck, and someone happened to pull up behind the truck. And when they pushed, I forgot what it was, a refrigerator, a washer, dryer off the truck, it landed on the hood of the person's car. That other person just didn't want to stop at exchanging insurance. He sees a truck. Obviously, you guys that are in Final Mile now, you know what's going on as far as even what we're talking about, sourcing individuals to do the work for various amount of reasons. So now you have retailers getting their own trucks and then putting contractors in their trucks. So the truck was branded with Lowe's. And this was just one of those, I guess you would call Karens, that just didn't want to stop at exchanging information. He wanted to see how much he could press, how many people he could call at Lowe's, how many I need to speak to his supervisors, how many I need to speak to your boss. He worked his way up that corporate chain and he got to somebody way up at the top. The ultimate Karen. And guess what? When you get to a point where you reach somebody that far up, then it becomes a problem. So, they got him gone. They got him gone and they took majority of his escrow. I think he said 22,000 in escrow. They took 18,000 of it. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. That's the only time that they really get involved. Fights, drama, chaos, shit like what we're seeing here. They don't get involved. They usually step in when it's really too late, right? Because those people are inside and not outside. People don't respect each other. People don't respect the customers anymore. I don't think a lot of people respect the job. This is across the board. This isn't just Final Mile. I hear stories about Amazon Relay and the people at the post office all the time. I hear stories about OTR. Well, I mean, there's plenty of content on TikTok and Instagram of how some of these OTR box truck drivers and even semi-truck drivers are out here driving, how they're out here acting. Very unprofessional. And because of this lack of professionalism, you see people like this fighting in the parking lot of a 3PL. Grown adults fighting over dumb shit like dock doors or parking. This isn't about survival. This is about lacking discipline, lacking leadership. These guys are ICs. If you're on a truck and you have a helper, it's you and your one truck, you're a poor leader. If another guy feels like they deserve a dock door that bad, and if it's just going to take a little bit more time out of my day, the last thing I'm going to do, especially if this is how I put food on the table and I'm trying to grow, is get into it in today's time. Because I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Those last 3 years that I was on the truck, you already know I wasn't on the truck. You know where I'm going with it. It's with me. Not only is it with me, the other two guys that are working with me, they got four in them with them. All right? You can't be out here just fucking with people. Now, I'm not the emotional type of person that I'm going to go ahead and let it go on you over a parking spot. But the unfortunate reality is, and that just doesn't go for Chicago. You see it down in Atlanta. You see it in other places as well. Jacksonville, Florida. Chicago ain't the only place with YNs that will crash out on your ass over some dumb shit, over some shit far less than a parking spot. Don't think this is like how it was back in the day. Like, don't. It's not worth it. You have to be a leader. You have to lack pride. This is your business. You're representing not only the 3PL, but also the retailer. But more importantly, you're representing your own company. How do you expect to grow if you get blacklisted? To be honest with you, there's only a handful of companies, 3PLs out there. You may see this long list, but the contracts that you need to be successful, there's only a handful of companies that really got them. Like, the last thing you want to do is do some dumb shit. If you're in with XPO and RXO, like, you don't want to be blacklisted over some dumb shit. They got every single contract. And it's difficult to get in there. It's very costly to be with RXO in comparison to other 3PLs. But if they blacklist you, now you limited. Especially if they continue to go on the spree of acquiring companies like they have been since as early as I remember 2014. Let's look at another video. Let's look at another video. Let's see. Let's see. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Rock that motherfucker. Ooh. Ooh. All right, let's react to this. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Buddy ass really, you could tell he was the initiator, but he really didn't want that shit. But Buddy get out the truck like, man, bring your ass on. Bring your goofy ass on. Like, he wanted. He got out the truck, motion. Bring your ass on. Come on, punk. Now then, the camera panel, you see this big old nigga. You see this big old nigga? He don't want no problem with this big old nigga. That's look like a Dominican on the left side, a big old black nigga on the right side. Boom, rock this shit. Rock this shit, boy. Look, he rocked this shit. Boom. So he didn't want to fight. See, that was some bullshit. Then how you going in the middle of the fight and then just stop and then look over to the guy filming? Like, man, what you doing? But finish your fight. Finish getting your ass whipping. The dude filming the camera, he ain't like, that's an excuse. You got your shit rocked, boy. And you was looking for an out. Look at this shit. He ain't wasn't nothing. What you worried about the cameraman for?
Get it. Come on, get YouTube.
Man, he got his shit rocked. What's the purpose of this? You fighting. We got a company here. We know we at Lowe's. We know we at a 3PL that's running Lowe's. Like, it's not hard. The brothers, they laughing. These some Dominicans that look like, and he a Dominican. And they fighting this big old black nigga right here. That big old black nigga. He held his ground. He held his ground. He didn't move. Rocked his ass. Rocked his ass. See, you know the black dude knew he was gonna rock him because he planted his shit. He didn't move or nothing. He was just waiting for him to get close. You could tell. See how he pulled this shit up? He pulled his pants up. Got ready. Boom! Rock this shit. And pretty much dude didn't want no more issues. He didn't want that smoke. He felt that first rock. He like, damn, how I'm gonna get out of this? Hey man, stop recording, man. What you doing? Hey man, what you doing, man? Stop recording. That was his way to get up out of it. The like button, subscribe to the channel. So all right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Matter of fact, fuck that one. Let's go straight to this email. I want to go to this email. Let's do the email and then we'll talk. We'll talk more. Let's just get it out the way. Let's get it out the way. I want to show this email. I want to show you some more shit, some more ignorant shit that I seen. Hold on. Where that email at? Let me pull that down. Where is it? All right, bet. All right, let's look at this email. All right, so obviously this is a Lowe's email. Our box truck driver left his helper at a customer's house. We need to get this helper picked up. Please give me a call. I have tried to call several contacts and get no response. So now you got independent contractors getting into it with a helper to the point where they abandon them, leave them at a customer's house. Like, I've never seen no shit like this before in my life. Why? Now I get it. I understand. Final mile, moving, very labor intensive. These are difficult jobs. You know, I've had situations where I've had, arguments because we're trying to get something in or we're frustrated. It happens. Like you trying to squeeze, in some cases you may be trying to squeeze something the size of a watermelon into the size of a lemon. I've had crews get into it, call back to the office, and we've had to mediate. I had a crew that got into it so bad that after they finished that first job, they deadheaded all the way back to the yard. Prior to them getting back to the yard, I started to see people pull up to my office. Some of the people's faces I recognized. I knew them. I knew where they was from. I knew what set they was from. I just didn't understand why they was sitting in my parking lot. The goddamn truck come flying through the yard. I see them get out the car because they got called up there to come move on somebody because these two knuckleheads is arguing on the job, arguing on the truck, on the 9094 Dan Ryan, arguing all the way back to the yard, and he done called the folks up here to move on buddy ass. It happens. I get it. You got grown men, a lot of testosterone, frustration. I understand it. Never have I ever had to experience someone being left on a job and abandoned. And this is an IC. It's embarrassing, one, because now you got this stranger that's at this customer's home. This customer is probably like, man, where'd your partner go? Where'd your partner go? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What happens to the point where someone gets left? The contractor who left his helper at a Lowe's customer's house. Lack of character, lack of responsibility. There's no way to justify it at all. There's no way to justify this at all. It used to be that. All right, so let me tell you where I come from. I'm older, raised on different morals and values, obviously, as some of the younger people who are coming up. If I'm on a truck with you, while we on this truck, we could come from two different walks of life. We could come from two different sides of town. We could be affiliated with two different gangs, whatever the case may be. But as long as we're on this truck, we family. We stick together. You got to have my back. I got to have your back. I got to trust you. You got to trust me, right? For more reasons than one. So there's no way to justify it. Even if we get into it We can have this discussion on the way to the next job. There's a disagreement, because it only stems from one thing. I know this because this is my industry. It only stems from one thing. It stems from frustration. Obviously, this was a frustrating day, or obviously, this was a frustrating job, right? Whoever was the IC is not a good leader. He's not a good leader because he left the guy, and two, he's not a good leader to the point where you guys are arguing on a job to the point where you're so frustrated you leave your helper behind. Your name is dirt. To me, where I come from, your name is dirt. That's some whole shit. Y'all can argue and get that shit out on the way to the next job. You don't leave nobody stranded. If you want to terminate the person, right? Because let's keep it fair. Everybody's disposable. Don't ever get that shit twisted. But there's a way you go about doing things professionally. People only care about the now, the mindset shit. It's short term. They only care about the day. Getting through the day's check, not the reputation, not the legacy, not the integrity, not the teamwork, no loyalty. Obviously, there's a lack of mentorship. I understand that because of the work that I do behind the scenes with some of these 3PLs. There's no pride. Now, I can tell you that firsthand from what I see. And even with me having 3PL deliveries to my home, I see I see a person coming from this industry. I know what to look for. I can tell a person who has pride versus a person who just don't give a fuck. That person that just don't give a fuck, and I'm saying that because that's the mentality that they have. Is just they want to get theirs and they keep moving. I want to get through this day. I don't give a fuck about this shit. I just want to get through this shit so I can get going about my business. That mindset is a cancer to the industry. It's a cancer to whoever it is that they're working for. If they're working for a contractor, if they are the contractor, it's a cancer in general to them. They're not going to have longevity in the business at all. Why is there so much hostility? Why is there so much ignorance? I'm just going to leave this email up here so it can marinate with you for a minute. Professional standards. Listen, we have this conversation all the time, and it's a generational thing. It's a generational thing. It's and I'm not saying this to beat up on the younger generation. It's a generational thing. It's a mindset thing. It's an integrity thing, but it all stems from, I think, that generational gap, and then just a lack of integrity. Granted, the 3PLs throw you into the fire because technically you're your own business owner with no real preparation. But as a business owner, it's your responsibility to make sure that you at least have some form of integrity for your own business. You should have standard operating procedures. You should have rules in place for yourself and for your business. You should have etiquette. You should have etiquette. This is not the Wild Wild West. This is business. You have to be professional with customers. You have to be professional with others. And some people say, well, Mark, and people have told me this, well, Mark, if don't nobody tell me, how will I know? Some things are just common sense. Nobody has to tell me to have integrity. Nobody should have to tell you that you're building a business and you are a representation of your business. You are also a representation of the people that you're representing as far as the 3PL and the retailer. Final mile requires you to be professional more so than some of these other niches because you're dealing with customers face to face. Nobody's going to check your bad behavior because you're a business owner. So you can't say, well, Mark, if nobody teaches me, how do I know? Terminal managers and 3PL supervisors aren't there to enforce discipline. Fights are going to happen. I'm telling you this firsthand from being and moving in final mile. Fights are going to happen with men. When men and testosterone and you lifting and you frustrated and you know what, man, let's use the straps. Nah, man, let's carry this bitch. Let's get this bitch in. We don't need the straps, man. Just get it in. No, man, take the door off. No, we ain't got to take the door off, man. I think we can get it through and shit like that. And you know what? And most of these situations happen halfway through getting towards the latter part of the day, like a lot of the fights. So to me, it's strange. And I'm speaking from firsthand experience of that type of drama that I've seen in my tenure. Never have I seen situations popping off first thing 6 o'clock in the morning at a terminal. Like you waking up angry early in the morning, I get it. Later in the day, you had 12, 15 stops. Your first 5 or 6 stops were just frustrating. It was one of them days and you know you got a claim. You already done scratched some shit. You done scratched the floor. I get it. That's going to fuck up the rest of your day. So I can get how you clash halfway or towards the end of the day. I've seen it happen a million times. What I don't understand is how you're this angry in the morning. No consequences today either. No consequences. You act a goddamn fool for me, it was consequences. Some of those consequences you may not have liked. And some of those consequences were a little bit more extreme than me giving you a week off to think about it. And some of those consequences, before I could enforce those consequences, the person that I had to, do disciplinary would act way before me. And sometimes it was in a way that, you may not have liked. Nowadays, you don't get that. You got social media, you got a lot of ego because of social media. I seen somebody in the comments, somebody said they want views. I don't think so. These were real fights. This was recorded by obviously someone that is a part of my Discord, right? I don't think a person is going to take a chance to get their ass whooped to get views. I don't think a person is going to jump out the window and potentially get shot to get views. You could argue people just want to do something just to go viral or to be the loudest or flex for attention. I don't think so in this situation. I think if anything, it's for respect. I think people are really emotional now and they think that, anything a person says or does, even if it's minimal or minute, they look at it as a form of disrespect. I think people today don't know how to let certain shit fly over their shoulders. Like at my age now, I'm not like a lot of shit. I'm just gonna let go. Man, you got it, Bob. You got it. Yeah, man, you got it. My bad. Cause it ain't that serious. I may bug up with you depending on the situation, but a lot of situations, man, bro, you got it. It's not that serious. People choose to fight and act a goddamn fool today and stupidity because it gets more clout. People would rather be stupid and do stupid shit and act a goddamn fool because it gets more clout. Being professional doesn't get clout. The wrong shit today gets the clout. The shit that shouldn't get clout is what will get you clouted up. The value or where a person can get value is always going to be hidden. The true value is going to always be hidden in plain sight. Always. How do we fix the problems? How do we fix this integrity issues and this ignorance that's going on, like people fighting? And it ain't just Final Mile docs. It's Amazon. It's OTR too. Obviously, there's going to be leadership, right? Accountability. I see, and I've worked firsthand with some 3PLs on, fixing these issues. Contractors actually need to enforce a standard with their drivers and also with themselves if they're just an IC. If you act out, if you be a fool, you should be done. That's another issue. So many people are giving reprieves because of the scarcity of people wanting to enter into this niche because of the level of complexity and the work that's associated with it. So a lot of people are giving reprieves to a lot of the dumb shit, and a blind eye is turned to a lot of the dumb shit because of a lack of people entering, right? If you fuck up, you're done. This guy that left his team member, and if you pay attention, I'll remove myself, or I'll do this. If you look right here, though, you can see right here that's Lowe's. So this is from Lowe's. So this person, for Lowe's corporate to be reaching out to other contractors to go and retrieve a helper that was left from another contractor is embarrassing. They should actually absolutely be terminated. You shouldn't be welcomed back. Veterans, guys like myself and, other veterans that have retired and moved on, have to step up and set the tone. The truth of the matter is that's not going to happen, right? If a veteran is out and they've gone on, they've moved on, they're retired and they're enjoying whatever it is, or if they retire into something less taxing on the body, the last thing that they're going to want to do is come do what I do if they can't do it effectively and successfully like I've done on the level that I've been able to do it here on YouTube. The fact of the matter is, a lot of people, even if an opportunity to do it presented itself, they wouldn't want to do it because then they would have to deal with the knuckleheads as far as shifting their mindset, and that's a job within itself. And to be honest with you, I don't blame them. If I wouldn't have started my channel in 2022 when I did, I wouldn't start it today. Because I started it then, the issues that I would have to face today as far as deeming myself and proving myself credible and all that shit, I wouldn't want to go through that shit now. If I wouldn't have did it then, I wouldn't have did it now. So I can't say I really blame them, but it's going to take people to step up. The 3PLs can't do it because of the legal aspect. That's why it's so easy for me to be a liaison and advise, because Don't nobody want to deal with these little motherfuckers. So, new drivers, new helpers need to be trained. These helpers aren't being trained because the drivers are ineffective. The drivers aren't well trained. Just because you can save up your $5,000 and you can go rent a truck, or if you go the route now where a lot of 3PLs are having to do, and I'm going to talk about this too, because of the scarcity of entrants, one, because of the work that's associated with it, but two, because of the cost of entry, a lot of 3PLs are now alleviating some of that cost of entry by acquiring their own trucks, whether they are renting them through partnerships with Ryder Enterprise, Penske, whatever, or they're purchasing their trucks, like you see with Lowe's now and Home Depot, and helping to alleviate some of the cost of entry to attract more applicants. Hey, just get your authority. In some cases, they won't even rent you the truck. They'll just let you get the truck for the free ski, right? They'll take whatever it is of insurance out of your settlement through Open Force, SCI, whoever they're partnered with in that aspect. A few other administrative fees, and they'll send you out there and still won't train you because technically you're still an IC. You're just leasing the equipment from them. But you've alleviated a lot of your costs as far as acquiring the box truck and or having to rent it. Now, some people are like, man, that's going in reverse. Absolutely. Due to the reasons I've talked about. Home Depot in some markets have completely got rid of contractors, and they've gone back to the old model where everything is in-house. Two people this week have asked me, Mark, where is the direction that you think Final Mile is going? Proof is in the pudding. History is starting to repeat itself. If you got companies like Lowe's and some of these other companies that are getting their own trucks because they don't have enough people that are applying and they're alleviating the cost to attract more people, that's a step backwards. Home Depot has already in some markets just eliminated contractors altogether, bought their own trucks and got their own drivers, and everything is went out. So they've completely done a 360. They're running like it's 1996 again. So not only is it just a lack of people, I'm showing you there's a lack of integrity that's also affecting the customer experience when someone is getting something delivered, and it's not good. There's a guy sitting at a customer's house stranded. If we bring back the way things used to be, let's say like Home Depot has done, and we just say, fuck it, just buy all our trucks, wrap these bitches orange, put our logo on them, and just put out ads on Indeed and the markets that we've already transitioned in, we get our drivers, guess what? Now there's a process and procedure. We got training. You're going to go out on a route for 2 or 3 weeks with a trainer. You're going to learn how to install things. You're going to learn how to carry things. You're going to learn which equipment to use to get shit into people's homes or get stuff out of people's homes. You're going to know how to protect people's floors. You're going to know how to conduct yourself. And guess what? There's going to be an HR manager that if you do screw up, that's going to call you into that office and they're going to exercise some form of corrective action. Here is where people, and this is when ignorant people talk, I'm starting not to engage with them anymore. Like I was engaging, I saw something on the channel last year and I made content out of it with the whole Amazon thing. Amazon will never get rid of contractors because they need us. That's not true. Home Depot, they're going to always need contractors. Home Depot just showed you they don't. Let me tell you something about large companies that are worth billions of dollars. Stop thinking they need you. If they have to revert back to the ways of old, they'll do that before they just fold. They're showing you that now. Home Depot is already showing it. They said, fuck it. Fuck these contractors. Just go buy thousands of trucks and just hire drivers. Lowe's is headed in that direction. Amazon, you can argue, but there's a reason why they have trucks on orders for years and years to come. They may or they may not, but here's the thing. If they have to go in that direction and flip the switch, we got a fleet, we got people. So when I see people in comment sections that get upset because they feel slighted, because they feel like they're worth more, they should be paid more, and then they say shit like, yo, they need us. No, they don't. You know why? Because they have the money to go and acquire the equipment. Y'all that think, oh, they're not going to want to pay the gas, you a goddamn fool. Yes, they what is gas, bro? We have DCs. If you go buy something from Home Depot, you got two options. You could either pay for the delivery, unless they offer you free delivery if they're running a promotion at that time, or they'll say you can go pick it up from the Home Depot distribution center way out in the boondocks in the suburbs somewhere, and you go pick that shit up yourself. So now when you decide to go pick it up there yourself, guess what? They got places to park their own trucks, and guess what? We got $1 million or $2 million. We can go get the way in the back of the lot. We can have the EPA commission come back and survey the place. I'm speaking this shit because I know it. Okay, how many tanks we can drop back there? We can drop some tanks back there. Okay, so they're going to come excavate the land. They're going to drop some tanks down in the ground, cost a couple million dollars. They're going to drop some tanks down in the ground. They're going to order barrels of fuel at a fraction of the cost of what you're going to pay when you have to go to the fuel station and fill up. And then now they already have a place to park their trucks. They're going to fuel their trucks up right there on their spot. And guess what? If we got to increase the delivery cost by 5 or 10%, who cares? If I'm going to spend $3,000 on a goddamn washer and dryer, do you think $125, which is what they're charging now for a delivery, if I'm going to pay $125, if I'm spending $3,000 on a washer and dryer, what's the difference of me paying $125 for a delivery and $150? So when people say ignorant shit like, oh, they need us, no, they don't. There's more people actively looking for employment than there are looking to be entrepreneurs. This is facts. They can recycle through people every single day and never run out of people. You don't believe me? Amazon been doing it for years. Amazon is known that as quick as they hire you, they will fire your punk ass. From my understanding, Amazon will fire you as fast as they hire you. I heard that place is like a goddamn revolving door. I'm speaking from the employee perspective, not a contractor. We're not talking about real. We're talking about in-house. And it's been like that since I've been hearing that. They'll never run out of people. Every day somebody's turning 18. Every day somebody's getting fired from somewhere. Every day somebody's waking up and realizing they need to take their ass to work. Tutorial Art says Lowe's is going to be next. You're absolutely right. they're going to 100% be next because they're already heading in that direction. They're already heading in that direction, as you can see here. You're absolutely, positively, 100% right. When you have independent contractors that are driving branded Lowe's trucks that Lowe's owns and operates, it's one step in the direction that Home Depot has already gotten to. Because if everything was hunky-dory, why take on the responsibility of owning and operating the trucks with our branding when we got contractors that are running their own trucks and assuming the cost of it? Them going back in this direction is one step closer to eliminating these guys right here altogether, like Home Depot did, and just hiring from within. So when I say shit, I don't say it because it sounds good. I analyze shit. I'm older, I'm wiser. I've been around the block for a long time. I've been in this industry when this shit didn't even exist. A Lowe's branded truck? No, every contractor had their own truck. This is a step backwards. And it's a step backwards for a reason. So we're in this woke culture of, oh, we want to be our own business owner. So in the industries where robotics and automation and artificial intelligence is replacing you, because those smart people understand the mindset and the direction of where people are going with their mindset. Why? It's because they put the mindset out there in the first place. This is why they're prepping and preparing for it. This industry here is not going to lack people. You're going to always need people to do this work because there's a physical aspect to it. But it's not going to be in the form of what you see it now. It's going to do. This is a great example of history repeating itself. History is absolutely, positively, 100%. And I'm calling it because Home Depot already went there. Lowe's is headed back. History is going to repeat itself. And it's 100% due to the mindset, the lack of integrity, and people think they want to be bosses, but they don't carry themselves like a boss. There can only, there's not thousands of me's. A lot of people don't even want to deal with these young people or these new mindset of people who want to be their own business owner. I was talking to somebody this morning, not a bad conversation, but it's like back in my day when, when people talk to people who could provide them some type of value in something that they were looking into doing, like business or something, you could hear the interest. Like I test people all the time. Like if you can catch me and I give you some time, I'm just rapping with you, I'm rapping with you, you can catch me, I'll do something like this. Man, what's up, man? What other questions you got? Nah, man, I don't want to hold your time. Look, bro, you got me. What other questions do you have? Ask all your questions because I might not. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker tell me if I get a chance to meet an Elon or if I get a chance to meet a Jeff Bezos and they tell me, until they tell me no more questions, I got questions. Like, fuck your ego. And if it's not an ego thing, then it's a you're not prepared, and you should always be prepared. This is a profession. The opportunity in this niche is wide open. It's wide open. There's so many opportunities. It's just people don't take it seriously. You have to build a reputation in this industry or any business that you do that lasts. You got to take pride in the shit that you do. Nobody takes pride in the shit that they do anymore. And that's it, man. I think I'm gonna land my plane there. Let's see. ACP is back. Moving is for big dogs, only not the little ones. Okay. Wayne Slaughter says too many kids getting into the business. They see too many fake content creators. Yeah, I've seen. I'm gonna stay niche specific. I see. There's not many final mile content creators. I see one that's been popping up in my algorithm a little bit. Not really a big one, but out of all the final mile ones I see, it's not many of them. I only really see one that I deem credible. And here's why I'm saying this. Because he's young, I see him out active. If an older guy, and I'm just calling it what it is, pops up into my algorithm, an older guy, let's keep it a buck, it's Big Mark, I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing, and you salt pepper like me, talking about final mile, you should be in my position. And it already came, you can show the story of success from a decade prior ago. No knock, but it's strange to me because it's almost not believable that someone that is in their mid to upper 40s, 50s is talking about a goddamn final mile business, something that's very labor intensive. It's just it doesn't. So me being in the business, coming in at 30, exiting out at 42, 43, 42. Like me giving you the game from this niche is from the comforts of this studio in my home. Not from the field. This is a young person's thing if they're going to present it from a field perspective. The OG should be presenting it the way that I present it from the business perspective. All right. So you're right. I think a lot of people get finessed, right? Because they're looking at the money aspect of it. And it's perpetuated as something that's very cut and dry, plug and play. But there's so many variables that go into play that aren't spoken of, whether they're done on purpose or not, that people don't really understand until they really get their foot in. And then by that time, it's too late. And then that's where I think I'm good because I give you the full spectrum. I give it to you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then I also give you the mindset. And then like here, I forecast. Like I'm going to tell you that 3 to 5 years, a lot of these big retailers is going to all be back in house like they was prior to 2000. Why? Because only an idiot cannot see what's happening. It's literally happening in front of your eyes. So Chauncey said he would have Ubered to the crib. That's what I would have thought. But, you know, that market, I know that, well, I think that market is a smaller market. And I think that market goes 150, 200 miles out. It's not a dense market, inner city. So that stop could have literally been 150, 200 miles away from the terminal. Which, you know, they still could have probably called an Uber if somebody was willing to take that trip. But that was I believe that was a route, one of those routes that was rural. So those stops were spread apart out 150 miles. So somebody says Arkansas, Middle America. Yep. Even Little Rock, to me, that's Middle America. Yeah, it's Middle America. All right. Tutorial said, bottom line, this is not the time to enter. False. I disagree. I think there's always a time to enter. I think now, listen, if you ask me, would now be a better time to enter than 2021? I say now would be a better time. There's always a good time. It's just you have to understand what you're investing into and when you're investing into it. Today, to now is a great time. Why? Look at what I'm showing when I present content. One, let's look at it from a competitive perspective. This is your competition, fools. You got guys arguing, fighting in a lot. You got people leaving their workers. You know what I'm saying? You got people not showing up. You got people, if you want to go into another niche over the road, they don't understand cost. You're going to go Amazon. Amazon is steadily tightening their things. I got an email, 4 days ago, and I was actually going to do content on it, and I was going to be petty. I said, man, listen, I got this shit before the Amazon content creator. I swear to God. I said, I got this before the Amazon content creators. I said, now, if I do a video on this, I'm going to be petty. They're going to be mad at me. And I was going to do it, but I said, you know, I'm going to let Midwest or Vic present this content. So I didn't be petty, all right? I was going to be petty, all right, about the background checks. I swear I had that information days ago. Do you know they give it to Big Mark first? Big Mark get it first. But I say I'm going to let them present that content, right? But every niche has people that are acting like a goddamn fool, and every 3PL or let's say Amazon are putting things into place to weed out all the bad actors. All these stringent policies that Amazon is putting in place is being done purposely to weed out bad actors. Now, one could argue, let's say from the Amazon perspective, this is shit that should have been in place initially. 100% indeed. But this goes back to what I was talking about earlier. If I'm running a business and I'm seeing an infusion or an influx of demand while I'm still building this, because you got to remember when 2020 hit, Relay was only like 3 years old at that time, 3.5 years old. They were still building this network. They were still perfecting it. Right? So if we're challenging ourselves and creating high expectations for faster turnaround, faster delivery, for those that are old enough, even if you weren't in logistics, let's say you're old enough that you were buying shit on Amazon 10 years ago, you know that the delivery process has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. The first big thing was to get delivery to you in 2 days. Then next day, then same day. Then you get overnight delivery. In some markets, we get delivery overnight. Here in Chicago, I get Amazon deliveries 4 in the morning. We get Amazon deliveries here same day. Some items I could order at 7 in the morning, it'll be here by 11 in the morning. Right? So over the period of time, Amazon has set these high expectations of getting delivery quicker and quicker and quicker. So in order to meet the demand of the expectations that we're setting for ourselves, we need to have a logistics plan and process in place to help meet it. So that means we need all hands on deck. If we put stringent and strict processes and procedure in place, it's going to eliminate a large percentage of the amount of people that we can onboard, because they're not going to be able to pass these certain rules and regulations and shit that we're putting in place. So we're going to lax them. One day when we plateau, which they did in 2022, then we can start implementing processes and procedures and compliance that our peers a la UPS and FedEx already have in place. The same compliance that the FMCSA was ridiculing them for at that time. Performance, safety scores, and shit like that. Drivers wrecking, killing people on the interstate, rear-ending people, killing people, people running over people in their driveways, running over dogs. All that shit that was going on. Why? Because the process and procedures of compliance was laxed. It was laxed purposely. We've plateaued now. So now we can implement these compliance measures. And the way they're rolling it out sparingly, but they're rolling it out nonetheless. So that shows that, listen, when we need you, we used you. And now that we don't need as many of you anymore, we're going to put compliance into place to weed out all the bad actors. And guess what? If we do get a boom again, we've got enough trucks on deck that we can hire people and they can just roll forward. Similar to what, who has a method like what Amazon is, I think, is trying to duplicate? XPO. I think, and this is just a forecast, I think, obviously we know Amazon is entering into the logistics space. They want to compete from a logistics standpoint outside of just their intranet, right? What they're doing is they're paralleling the model that they're building parallel to XPO, right? Why? Because XPO they use contractors, but they also have a network of their own vehicles and drivers. So sticking to the topic from a 3PL perspective, a lot of the issues that you see with some of the smaller 3PLs or some of the larger 3PLs that aren't to the magnitude of an XPO, the issues that they have with carriers from the final mile perspective, XPO RXO doesn't really have those issues because they have their own network of trucks and drivers and teams in place that are company drivers and company employees that can, cover bases that ICs drop. Your UST, your Pilot, your JB Hunt Final Mile, your NAL, CRST, T-Force, they don't. If Amazon can successfully continue to build this logistics network and parallel it to what XPO has done, I see them growing in the logistics field and being top 5 probably within the next 10 years. another 10 years. So there's opportunity. Now is like, if I were coming into this business, seeing what I see, knowing what I know, why it's a great time to come in. You can get a truck for the low. You don't have to worry about competition as long as you're smart and you do what you're supposed to do, because it's not hard to outthink these guys. Like, look what we see. Know your numbers. Operate lean. Have some integrity. Sky's the limit. If you're a YN, be a YN, but mentally carry yourself like an OG. Have the mindset of an OG and the youthfulness physically of a YN. You'll be fine. So I disagree. I think it's a great time to get in. Now is a better time than ever. If I were an op soup or a dispatcher, let's say at a 3PL, seeing what we see out here, what I just showed, a person who has integrity, a person who's willing to go above and beyond, a person who can articulate themselves professionally from a business perspective, a person who gets great scores after every delivery, that person is going to stand out, right? Because the majority of the people that we see, 90% of them do dumb shit. So that person that is going to be easy to stand out like a sore thumb, the best opportunities are going to be presented to that individual. And it's not going to take that much time, because you're going to stand out like a sore thumb. So no, now is a great time as long as you know what you're doing. All right. Any other questions, man? Why is everybody so quiet today? Like, what y'all doing? What y'all barbecuing or some shit like that? Any questions before I get out of here? What time is it? 5. Yes. No. Maybe so. What about doc to doc? What about it? What about doc to doc? Doc to doc local, yeah. I mean, listen, I don't care if you was whatever it is, doc to doc, curbside, big and bulky, OTR. I don't care what it is. Any niche is good as long as you know what you're doing. Why? Because everybody's failing and complaining in every niche, but the reason they're failing and complaining are not for the reason that they're failing and complaining, that they're the reason that they think they failing and complaining. It's because of them. There's opportunity here. If you can find a curbside opportunity, then yes, go ahead, because those are scarce anyway. If you are a person who just wants to focus on you and only want to be worried about you, then yeah, if you can find a curbside opportunity, go for it. Absolutely. Any niche right now in box trucking is open, bro. What do you mean the rates are low? What's the rates? Mark, when you had your cross dock, did you pick up from the merchants or did they bring the items to you? Cross dock, the items came to me. The company that I had the account with was Nonstop, and then they had all the contracts with all the merchants. Hundreds of merchants. Wayfair was the biggest. Wayfair, we had Websterant, we had Atomic Games. We had Nordic Track. We had Human Touch. Those Human Touch massage chairs. We had multiple fitness companies. Nordic Track was one of them. I can't remember the other ones. Multiple online furniture stores. The list just goes on, bro. It was so many. That company had so many. A lot of the contracts they had were web based. But yeah, all the merchandise came. So I was getting like maybe 5 trucks a day, dropping shit off. And yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Shit came to me. You said YouTube knocked you off the MGM? Oh, because your it probably didn't renew for some reason. I don't know why. Probably didn't renew for some reason. What, you in a van? $1,300 a week? You got to be in a van. That can't be for no box truck. Excuse me. That gotta be for a van. You said you're gonna send a receipt, so they charge you or they didn't charge you? Did they charge you or they didn't charge you? They just started hiring within company drivers and their boss. They just started hiring within. So what you saying? They getting rid of contractors and they hiring their own drivers? Sounds like what we talking about. Sounds like what I'm talking about. A lot of companies are going in this direction. If I'm a company and 25, 30 years ago, we switched to this outsourcing model because it's cheaper. We can put the liability on the delivery company, right? And we can just focus on selling more. Great. But now we're in a time where that model isn't working anymore because of the mindset. I unveiled some information yesterday on a channel that I have been keeping for a couple of years now. I already knew it was going in this direction. A company like Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever company you're talking about, Dell or whoever, if we have to go back in time, build a network of trucks and hire people and reopen up this department so that we can continue to still provide service, and that's what we're going to do. Like, we're not going to let contractors determine our fate. No, we're just going to go back to this old model. We can't say, oh, we're not going to do delivery anymore. Why? Because more people are getting things delivered now than they were 25, 30 years ago when this model existed. We're just going to reintroduce that model and we're going to keep moving. That's it. Is it going to cost us some money? Sure. Initially. But we're business people here, right? And what happens when our cost increases? Who feels it? Who feels it? So what's going to happen is now when you go to Home Depot and you buy that refrigerator and they say, all right, we can have a crew drop it off in 2 days. Delivery is going to be $125. Now delivery is going to be $175. The retailer ain't going to eat the hit. The fuel that's associated with it, the commercial insurance, which it's going to be self-insured because you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company. No one is going to insure them. So 9 times out of 10, they have to be self-insured. This is too much information that I'm giving you right now. See, let me stop. Ultimately, those costs are going to be passed along to the consumer. So it doesn't really matter. They're not going to take a hit. It's just you're going to pay for it at the POP. You're going to ultimately pay for it at POP. Ain't no big deal. Ain't no biggie. It's light work to them. So I don't want to hear nobody else saying they need us. They can't do it without us. You a goddamn fool. Why would a fucking multi-billion-dollar company, they don't need you. Stop thinking people need you. They don't, bro. You said everybody are going to adapt to the new model. You're not going to have no choice. You're not going to have no choice. The consumers don't really care as long as the shit comes. If I'm buying a new refrigerator, if my refrigerator stops working and all my food spoils and I run out the house right now and I go to Home Depot and I buy a new refrigerator and they tell me it can be here Tuesday morning between 8 and 12, I don't give a fuck if an independent contractor delivers it or a team of employees in a branded Home Depot trucks delivers it. I just need it delivered, new, with no dings, no scratches. And when you come in here, don't damage nothing. That's it. I don't care who delivers it. Consumer don't care. The contractor, they get phased out. It's not going to be a big deal anymore because the model won't exist anymore. Like it didn't exist prior to 98, 2000, 97, when a lot of companies started transitioning to an outsourcing to a contractor model back then. I'm old enough to remember when big box retailers, which it was a lot more big box retailers than there are today. I don't know how old you are, Tutorial Art Studios, but I'm old enough to remember big box retail exploded in the 80s. A big part of the explosion of big box retail was due to the deregulation of trucking. This is why big box retail expanded at the rate it did, and one of the winners that we know today is Walmart. Why? Because more competition saved money on the transportation aspect, and those savings got passed to the consumer, but it also presented the opportunity for big box retailers to expand because of those savings. When things were regulated, they had to transport from DC to retail location at whatever the cost that the Interstate Commerce Commission, which was the ICC, the Interstate Commerce Commission at that time that regulated trucking, that priced it whatever they deemed was fair. When trucking got deregulated, that brought in a cesspool of competition, and that number that the Interstate Commerce Commission regulated, whatever they thought fair was way higher than when there's a multitude of people competing. So because the transportation costs went extremely down because of deregulation, this allowed big box retailers to boom and thrive. And that's why you saw so much growth in big box retail in the 80s. Big box retail, there's not many competitors today because the winners of that big box retail boom, explosion, bubble was Walmart. You're 36. So there's a lot of big box retailers that you probably never heard of. Venture, Montgomery Ward, Service Merchandise, Zare, Ames, Sears, H.H. Gregg. The list goes on. Goldblatt's, Woolworth. Woolworth was a big box retailer, but I would consider that still a general merchandise store. Circuit City. None of these stores exist anymore because they lost the war. But during the time of the bubble of big box retail, they were all thriving. They thrived in the 80s. They thrived in a big part of the 90s until Walmart continued to enter into markets. The more markets Walmart entered into, the more you saw a lot of those big box retailers slowly starting to meet their demise. Kmart was another one. I haven't seen a Kmart in years. Why? None of them could compete. Sam Walton did something that none of them could do. They didn't think about doing. This is why his autobiography, if you've been watching my channel, is my favorite book. And anything that I get involved in that I'm going to scale, including my trucking company, I modeled it after reading that book. His mindset, I took that mindset and I applied it in the industry that I was in. That's why I say all the time, a lot of these guys that are complaining about cheap shit, they're just stupid. Sam Walton figured out how to cut out all his competitors by focusing on volume, keeping costs down, providing the customer goods at an affordable price that's still profitable, to the point where their competitors couldn't compete, and therefore allowing Sam Walton and the Waltons to gain more market share. I talk business. I don't talk dumb shit. So when people say stupid shit like cheap freight and all this shit, these are people that just don't understand business. It doesn't exist. Cheap freight is a mindset thing. If I position myself to take a large part of the market share because I'm able to operate my business at a way lower cost than you, for me to gain more market share, thus making more money than you because I'm able to operate and make my money in volume, why would I care about you complaining about how cheap that I'm taking shit for, or how cheap I'm selling soap for, or how cheap I'm selling toothbrushes for, or how cheap I'm selling soap for, or how cheap I'm selling lotion for? At the end of the day, it's cheap, but it's profitable, and I'm selling it in volume. Bye-bye Kmart. Bye-bye Montgomery Wards. Bye-bye Venture. Bye-bye Zare. Bye-bye Ames. Bye-bye Service Merchandise. Bye-bye Woolworth. Walmart has entered into the pharmacy business. How many fucking Walgreens do you see closing down? There's so many empty. There's a Walgreens on every corner in Chicago. 75th and goddamn it, Yates is gone. They just closed 91st and Commercial. 75th and Stony is closed. 67th and Stony is closed. There's a Walmart on every single goddamn corner. 95th and Jeffrey is closed. I can just go down the list. Why? Because people go to Walmart. CVS's are closing. Why? Because people get their orders from Walmart. They can get them from Amazon now delivered. Mark, how I get that big and bulky blueprint? It's in the content. J. Cole will give you the link. It's in a specific video. It's from like 3 years ago. J. Cole will give you the link. Drop the link. Just give it to him. He in the Discord. Give it to him in the Discord. You gotta get it in the Discord. The link, he'll give you the link in the Discord. Say you remember service merchandise. You said you wonder what you're gonna do with your truck when everything goes within. Transition. You're just gonna have to transition. I don't know how long that's gonna take. Obviously, it's going in that direction. Obviously, it's going in the direction with the contract that you have. So it's just something that you got to deal with. It's unfortunate, but this is the reality of peers. You know, one bad apple will spoil the bunch. If instead of people complaining about dumb shit like cheap freight shit that doesn't make sense, right, from a business perspective, people should start complaining about the lack of integrity of their peers, which is ultimately causing opportunities to diminish. Like if I was going to get on the internet and complain about anything, I'm not going to complain about something that somebody like me can come make a fool out of you, like complain about cheap freight. I'm going to complain about something that's valid, that has some form of validity, like ignorance, lack of integrity. The reason why companies are resorting back to a prehistoric model prior to outsourcing is because of the lack of integrity and the ignorance that is being displayed amongst the contractors. That's something that you can come and moan and complain about on the internet. Yo, y'all messing it up. Y'all messing it up for guys like me who are out here operating efficiently and effectively. Y'all are the reason. It's the lack of ignorance. It's the ignorance that you're displaying and the lack of integrity, which is causing companies to pull back on opportunities and just keep them in-house. I think we should see more of that on the internet instead of people complaining about shit that just is ignorant. You know? Do you see any opportunities with getting overflow work while these companies expand their own fleets and they cut undesirable contracts for a new entrant? Do you see any opportunities for getting overflow? There's plenty of overflow work currently. The guys that I know that are in my Discord, they get opportunities for overflow work. They post them every day. And when they do get these opportunities, they get them and they're able to negotiate exorbitant rates because of the desperation of the 3PL. There's always going to be opportunity from a final mile perspective because of the niche and the work that's associated with it. So yes, there's overflow work that's current right now. My advice is, especially if you're running like Lowe's, obviously Home Depot has resorted back to the way of old already in most markets. If you're working Lowe's, I would try to make as much money as I can right now. I wouldn't leave no stone unturned. I'm not saying scale up. I mean opportunities. If opportunities are presenting themselves to you and you're able to take on these opportunities, I would take them. Obviously, we see they're going in the direction that Home Depot is going. So how long, until they fully go to a 100% in-house model? Who knows? Could be a year, could be 2 years, could be 3 to 5 years, but we know they're going in that direction. So I would take all the opportunities that are presented as far that you can handle, but I'd also be planning an exit and a transition when that time comes. I personally don't see an ignorance plateau and then things starting to go in a better upward trajectory from an integrity standpoint. I don't see it. I think the integrity is going to continue to go that way. Being a person who is privy to information that you may not be privy to behind the scenes, I can tell you that one of the main reasons outside of just the lack of people is claims. The reason why claims are continuing to go up is due to a lack of integrity. People just do not care enough to care. People aren't mindful. Yo, I got this shit on the strap. This is a $3,000 refrigerator. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Every step of the way. Be careful. Be careful. Yo, watch your back. You got a stair coming up. I'm going to count the stairs with you. All right, there you go. All right. 1, 2. I got you. I got you. Watch your back. Watch your back. Up. Watch right there. The top. Look up. All right. You got 3 more stairs. Like, you don't get that. All right. You got to turn. You got to turn. 1 more stair. You there. All right. Good job. All right. Make that turn. I got you. I got your back. I'm your eyes. I'm your eyes. You don't see that shit no more. I was talking to somebody last night in my Discord, 27-year-old, does final mile. He said, Mark, everything you say, you're right. I'm 27. My friends and my peers that are out here, the shit you be talking about, they don't give a fuck. I give a fuck, but they don't give a fuck. They'll walk off a job and like, fuck this shit. I had this conversation last night with a 27-year-old in my Discord that does final mile. They don't give a fuck. So if you don't give a fuck and you are in a niche where not only are you dealing with expensive goods, but you're also having to cross the threshold and go into a consumer's home, which opens up more opportunity for liability and claims, and you have a I don't give a fuck mentality, this is the direction of claims. So as an executive of a company, Fortune 500, that sells thousands, if not millions of units of appliances or furniture, depending on if it's a furniture store or an appliance store, a year, and every one out of whatever delivery that these contractors are making, there's a claim. We're replacing floors, we're replacing, and it's not like back in the day. If we got hit with a claim, we ate it. Yo, $3,000. How you want it? You want us to get it all in one whop, or you want us to do 500 over the course of 6 settlements? Man, go ahead and take that 500. It wasn't like once we went through the investigation process, it's just like what it is. Nowadays, yo, you got a $6,000 claim. How you want to do this? You want us to just take it all in one whop, one settlement, or take this whole settlement and then the difference of the next settlement, you want to break it up? However you want to do it, we're going to work with you. Man, fuck that shit. I quit. So they're going to sacrifice whatever they got in the kitty, and they just going to walk off. So ultimately, if there's a balance, who's covering the cost of that? 3PL, retailer, somebody, right? Truth of the matter is there's only so many 3PLs that these retailers can deal with. I've seen some retailers work with so many different 3PLs over the course of the last 15 years to the point where they have nobody else to go to. Yeah, we were working with this company. We didn't renew the contract with them. We went over to NAL. Shit, NAL wasn't no better. Fuck it. Shit, let's go try Pilot. God damn it, they worse. All right, well, shit. Let's go over here. We really don't want to deal with XPO. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So let's go over here. You know what? We done dealt with everybody. Man, you're just gonna have to bring this shit back in house. Oh. Do I know a thing about AIT? Yep. Yeah, AIT is big here. Actually, one of my exes used to work for them. They office is out in Itasca. Yeah, I know about AIT. AIT is headquartered here. Their headquarters is here, out in Itasca. Unless they moved it. Last time I knew it was in Itasca. Yeah. I've never worked with them. I'm familiar with AIT because of their size. And because some of the shit that I've done, they've acquired. But yeah, they got a lot of major contracts from they got a lot of sporting contracts. I know they got Dick's because they got that through the acquisition of Select. They have Go Configure. They actually got that through the acquisition of Select as well. They got a lot of contracts. I haven't heard anything bad about them. Said Walgreens is cooked. Yeah, Walgreens is cooked due to Amazon, Walmart, Target. Not so much CVS. I would contribute Walmart's cooking to. Walgreens cooking to Walmart, Target, and Amazon. More so Walmart and Target because Amazon really hasn't been in the pharmacy business that long. So more so Walmart and Target. More of a one-stop shop. I can come, I can get my soap, I can get my lotion, and I can fill my prescription all at the same time. Walgreens was another classic story that the younger generation who didn't get a chance to witness the big box retailer boom and demise of the 80s and the 90s, they can witness something similar with Walgreens right now. There's so many blank, empty Walgreens in Chicago. Like, there was literally a Walgreens on every corner. I think 71st and Jeffrey is closed, 75th and Jeffrey is closed, 91st and Commercial is closed, 95th and Jeffrey is closed. So 71st and Jeffrey is closed, 75th and Jeffrey is closed. So the streets go in numbers, 71st, 72nd, 73rd. So there was one on 71st and Jeffrey. I think that's closed. 75th and Jeffrey is closed. So 79th and Jeffrey. No. Yeah, 79th and Jeffrey. So 71st and Jeffrey, then 8 blocks down, 79th and Jeffrey is closed. 95th and Jeffrey is closed. 91st and Commercial is closed. Let me see. 75th and Stony is closed. 67th and Stony is closed. Where else? Trying to think of all the ones southeast, Easter, God damn it, the Dan Ryan is, God damn it, 87th. No, 87th still open. 87th and Cottage is open. 87th and Stony is still open. 87th and Stony is still open. Yeah, but a lot of them are closed. Seen a Walgreens turn into an Ace Hardware. How do I get in the Discord? Man, you're going to have to sign up and choose a tier. Choose what tier you want to sign up for. Everything in your house came from Sears on 79th, and they nachos were the bomb. Sears on 79th, right by the Viaduct. 79th and Anthony. Yep. said you worked at the Walgreens on 91st Commercial. Sad. Yeah. You know what's crazy? That puts older people at a disadvantage. That's the Walgreens that my mother would go and fill her prescriptions at 91st and Commercial, because we from over east. So my mother would go fill her prescriptions at the one on 94. I don't know where she fill her prescriptions at now. But yeah, that's displacing a lot of senior citizens. And you know why? Because there's not many CVS's. CVS's are closing too. And ultimately, there's not a lot of Walmarts aren't really prevalent in the community, right? More in the suburbs. So the Walmart that was on 83rd and obviously whatever, fucking right off Vincennes over by Simeon, you already know what happened to that. They tore that bitch up after doing the rioting during the pandemic. They put all millions and opening it back up, and Lil Fo and them kept stealing out of it. And it was more internal theft than it was people coming in stealing. It was the workers that was stealing. Can't go to Target. 87th and Cottage Grove closed. Why? Same shit. Internal theft. 119th Target closed. Internal theft. So there's a desert in our community due to ignorance. Even you can't escape the ignorance. So now when I look at it from the perspective of the seniors that are in the community can't fill their prescriptions because of the ignorance of the younger generation. And the people, their mothers and their grandmothers now have to travel way to fucking Orland or some shit like that to go fill a goddamn prescription. Why? Because what you know and what I know is the older generation, if you're a Gen Xer like me, or let's say a very early millennial, our parents that are still around haven't and aren't fully going to adapt to the way of technology and ordering something as, is the intimate the right word? Not as discreet as a prescription. Is that the right word I want to use? Something that's private, let's say, as a prescription. I want to use a bigger word. I just can't think of the word I'm thinking about. But let's say something that's private as a prescription. My mother ain't going to order no prescription online. She's not going to allow somebody to deliver whatever medicine that she needs, some stranger. She's not going to do that. Old people ain't going to trust that. Mama, you know you can, get your shit on Amazon. You dig what I'm saying? You can get it on Walmart Spark or whatever. Man, I'm not finna I don't want nobody to live in my blood pressure medicine to my house. I don't want them to know where I live at. That's my medicine. What did they do something to my medicine? Nah, I'm gonna go pick my medicine up. I need to get out the house. I gotta go pick my medicine up. Right? So because of the desert, because of Lil Fo, Lil Man and them tearing shit up, stealing shit, Walmart is a different discussion, right? Walmart just didn't change their business model in time. That's due to the people that sit on these boards that don't want to transition soon enough into the future and utilizing technology. They get stuck in their ways. We've seen a lot of businesses meet their demise due to stubbornness, right? Old board members, old white and silver-haired board members that have been making billions and billions of dollars for decades, 40, 50 years, because technology wasn't moving as fast as it is now. So you got a company like Walgreens that has been around since maybe the late 1800s, early 1900s, and they just been making money and money for years. This is why there's a Walmart on every fucking corner in large markets like Chicago. But now technology is moving at a fast speed, and then you have very shrewd competitors that are entering into the marketplace, that of a Jeff Bezos, who says, you know what, we're going to implement pharmacy into our platform, and we're going to do you one better. We're going to compete in the landscape of actually delivering it to your home, right? So here's someone who's up there in age, but their mindset is totally different than the board members who ultimately have the decision as far as from a financial cost perspective, if they want the company to go in a certain direction or don't. They get stubborn. Oh, people gonna always want to go. But guess what? The boomers are dying. That's the last generation that is going to be sticklers on getting up and actually going to the physical pharmacy to fulfill their medicine prescription. The Gen Xers, they don't give two fucks. Some millennials don't care because why? We know they're lazy. I don't want you delivering my prescription to my crib. I'm going to pull my ass up to Walgreens. Either I'm going to pull up to the drive-thru or I'm going to get out and I'm going to go in. I'm an Xer. I don't want foreign them because we know a lot of these Gen X, these Gen Zs, they dope fiends. They do the prescription drugs anyway. They might try to go and take one of the pills and some shit like that, some Flexeril or whatever. I might pull a muscle working out and they might try to take my Flexeril, my muscle relaxers. I don't know. You dig what I'm saying? I don't want you delivering my shit. You dig what I'm saying? But our parents are going to die off. We're going to die off. And then the generations behind us, they don't care. They let people deliver their food. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm leery on some food deliveries. Still, I order shit on Uber Eats. I be leery on it. I don't drink nothing. Anything that I order on Uber Eats that come with a drink, unless it's like a bottle of water where it's a screw. If it's like a fountain, I toss that shit. I'm not drinking that shit. So shout out to LaDonna White. Shout out to Rich. What's going on? Yeah, so it is what it is. I think a lot is changing, man. You just got to be prepared for it and be able to maneuver. All right, man. This is a good live stream. Appreciate it. I know it's Saturday. A lot of people are busy. I'm finna go get active too. See what this Saturday night gonna bring me. Go get a quick little workout in. Come back, take a shower. See if I'm gonna go ahead and put my feet to the pavement. All right, y'all be safe out there. Until next time, peace.